unable not to enjoy them.
Absolutely. Well, what we need with the council is a contract, and then that way it sets aside certain rules and regulations, terms and conditions that the council have to follow, which would be providing street lights, you know, and I would opt into that, absolutely. But the point is, we don't have a choice. It's just dictated to us. And as for the Queen, well, don't get me started. That's all I can say.
It's not this cave, man. That's very gentle.
Yeah.
Yes, wasn't it?
In our we take the Queen, right?
Yeah.
Because I know a little bit. So she swore to uphold common law.
Mm.
Now, if we take back that right,
Yes.
back that right, and make ourselves sovereign.
Make ourselves sovereign. That's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, she's in a position where she's been undrung and quartered.
Yes. Yeah.
And
She's
whether
in direct
she wanted to do it
captivity.
or not,
Yeah.
she's stuffed.
Yes, that's
Okay,
right.
so
She's sold out.
yeah.
Yes.
In the terms of contracting with the council for what we need,
For services.
because you can imagine if your dustbin wasn't empty, we'd be.
Well, at the moment, as it stands, they don't have to come and collect our rubbish. Because, you know, if they stop collecting it, they've not broken a contract at all.
No.
But if we break, you know, the contract, even though there isn't one, then they come down on us and they take us to court.
That's right. So there's no give and take. They want it all on their side. So we're against them having it all on their side, and especially them being governed by someone else other than us.
An important
This council coming from where? France?
Absolutely.
Michel.
Michel, a private French company.
So
Michel, yeah.
it's not even anything to do with us.
No.
That's right. Yeah.
And it should be.
That's right. Because we're directly involved.
Because
we need to bring that power back to us.
Because we are the owners of it. Not on mine, I've made everyone liable all the way up the chain. So if a police officer stops me,
That's right.
if he steps over that mark, he's taking on the contract for his next one up, his next one up, his next one up, his next one up.
That's right. Well, this is what I've actually been working on at the moment. I'm planning on serving notice on the council over the next few weeks. And what I want to do is inform the council that if they turn up at my property, there's going to be a trespassing fee of £500. And also for every letter that they send me, there's a £150 charge. And I need to take this down to the council. They're not going to be happy about signing it, but the point is they have to at least put their stamp on it, just to say they've received the document.
Yes.
So this is something that I'm planning on doing for next year's council tax bill, so that I can then, you know, when they send me my bill for council tax, I can pay it with legal tender. I can pay it with, well, swap it for their bill, basically.
What if they refuse?
They can't. They have to. Well, there's a couple of options there. I'm going to go down there personally and get them to stamp it, and they will refuse.
Yeah. So you come away, as it were, with an unstamped form.
No, it will say on it received. All they need to stamp it. They don't necessarily have to agree with the contents of the letter. They just have to stamp it to say they received it. There's another way of doing it. You don't have to go down there personally to the council. You can send it recorded delivery, and if you get a couple of people to witness the envelopes, and then that's notice served as well. I mean, our councils don't actually even serve us notice. They just send it in the post, not recorded delivery or anything. So they actually have no proof that they have served us notice. So I'm going out of my way to actually prove that I've served them notice, which I don't really need to do if they're not doing it. Yes?
If you throw your passport away,
Yes.
not your passport, your birth certificate,
Yeah.
how do you apply for a passport then?
Personally, I would keep your birth certificate, because you've got to remember it's your person, it's for you to use. Your person is to protect yourself against the government.
Right.
Whereas at the moment the government are using your person against you. It's all about turning it around and using your person to protect you like it was supposed to be used for.
Did you bring a birth certificate? You did you?
No, I've still got mine. No, I didn't. Not in that video. No, I've still got my birth certificate.
Really.
It's very handy for court cases.
Yeah, and if you opt out the system, as the lady next to me just stated, what happens about your old age pension that you paid for all these years? They say, well, you're opting out of the pension.
Well, your pension's gone anyway, so I wouldn't want to pay into a pension scheme.
Can you not say you have taken payment for my pension out of my wages all my life, and I'm still due for a pension? Couldn't that be?
Well, unfortunately, the government aren't that kind, to be honest.
What about
Marilyn?
No, I've got a letter here from the Dorset Police Force headquarters.
Okay.
that
Regarding
I
me?
received today, and it says, "Dear stakeholder." So
Right.
that gives everything away, doesn't it? But it
Yes.
also, I've got the agenda for the meeting, and number 10 is Police Authority Business Plan, and the number
Business
11
plan,
is Code of Corporate Governance.
That
So
says it
you
all,
might
doesn't
be
it?
interested to look into that.
Well, yeah, absolutely. I mean,
Yeah.
anyone can find out for themselves at the House of Lords, and they're all private companies. You know,
Yeah.
you can find
You
out yourself on
might
Company's House.
want to
and
have a look at
brochure.
this agenda.
Is that
Yes.
to do with
This
the area?
affidavit and
Yes.
On their
is,
website.
Yeah.
is it like a pro forma anywhere to complete this?
I've got it free download on my website.
I've got
There's
an
the
affidavit
template letter
form.
that I sent off on the website.
I've got affidavit forms on the
Yeah, there's probably some on
stand
there as
over
well.
there.
I'd have a read through of them,
I've
very
only got
interesting.
affidavit 1, you need affidavit
That's
2,
right,
and I've
after
got a
the 40
form
days.
telling you how to do it as well,
Mhm.
instructions as to what to do. So I will be getting affidavit 2, I've got a copy still, so I'll get some more done.
So I can only advise people, don't rush into it. Obviously, make sure you know what you're getting yourself involved with before you do anything like that. Yes.
I've just watched an excellent presentation on the screen, and the only problem I have is with the music and words. I can't hear
Okay.
them clearly.
No,
Sure.
we really
And,
need an
everything
interpretation
was
in
up
words
there.
actually, because
Okay.
I can't understand any of the words when they've got music in the background. I can't hear them.
Okay. Well, the first video was obviously about the music industry and how they use the same 4 chords, the very low energy chords, and they repeat them in the music songs, you know, over and over again. New songs come out all the time. People say that, people think, oh, I love that one. They don't realise they've been listening to it for the last 20 years of their life.
There was actually a Hungarian professor who said that something like by 1970 or even 1960, the A, G, C, D, F chords
Yes.
would have run their course.
Mhm.
And in theory, I can't remember exactly, he said, that's it, you've done every possible combination. You know, that's like 30 years ago.
Well, that's right. That's why most of the pop songs are all the same.
Yes, that's
It's got its bright sparks, haven't it? No?
Yes.
Have you got a handout of the presentation?
I can certainly print one off for you. Yes.
If you would, it would be
I can put it on my website if that helps. Are you on the
Yes,
internet?
please, yeah.
Yeah, I'll put it on my website for you.
Okay, that's
Be no problem.
Rodney?
Just that when I looked at my birth one,
Mhm.
right, the birth bonds when they were first brought out in 1933, right, were worth £646,000
Yes. I've heard it's about £1 million that's on that bond. So when the government create a person,
Yeah,
they float it on the stock
And that-
market, as it were,
that's paid out of. That was,
and they borrow, say, £1 million, and it goes onto the National Insurance bank account.
yeah.
And they can borrow that £1 million because that's your taxable earnings, as well, what you're worth over your lifetime.
So they're trading.
So they sell, you register yourself, your parents register you to the General Registry Office, which is a corporation again, and then they sell it onto the banking industry or whatever else.
No, when you started off, that was from it was taken from the insurance records.
Mm-hmm.
The amount was taken from the insurance records. So that was
So is that a precise amount? 640, what was it?
£646,000.
Okay.
So we can just imagine how much it is today. A lot of money, and it's been turned over and over and over again. And when
That's right.
after
It's
selling,
our money. It's our
that
money.
was the insurance.
Mhm.
That was in there for 7 years.
Yeah.
And then it
By
paid-
the age of 7, you're legally classed as dead. Your person is
yeah,
dead.
that's right. Because at sea, you're lost at sea.
I've lost
it
at
pays
sea.
out.
Yeah.
Then you go on to your then that gets transferred into your insurance bond.
Mhm.
So they're both running at the same time.
Absolutely. I mean, there's lots going on behind the scenes that a lot of people aren't aware of. Absolutely.
And they're sold in lots. and
Yes, the
they're-
lady at the back.
Chris, we hear a lot of people talking in these meetings and giving us information.
Yes.
And I'm only partly boned up on what you're using now.
Okay.
And other people here are much more knowledgeable too. But when we have these talks,
Mhm.
I often come away thinking, well, what are we going to do next? Because Dr. Halpin said, what are we going to do about
That's right.
it?
Yeah.
So I know it's a bit sweeping, but what are we now to do next? Because we're a mixed bag of people with a mixed bag of knowledge, and you're very boned up, and it's brilliant what you've just
think it's all down to all of us being creative and doing whatever we can do.
So
It's all down to us to come up with loads of different ideas of different ways we can tackle this. You know?
Yeah. So research more along the lines that you're doing, and your website will guide. And
Absolutely.
but, which is what I think a lot of us are trying to do. But then, I mean, we're all subject to bills and council tax and so
Sure.
on. So we've got to be creative, but have you got any creative ideas?
I mean, my main priority really is there are so many people out there that are all terribly in debt, and they're really struggling to pay their rent and, you know, for food. They're struggling to feed themselves. So that's my priority really, is to help them, you know, prioritise where they do spend their money. You know, if they're paying some dodgy debt collector money back, you know, that's my priority really for people, is to...
So that they can just say no, go away, no,
Yeah,
and make a bonfire.
Absolutely. And if everyone does what I'm doing, I don't give any money to the government, I don't cooperate with them. If everyone does that, they have no power whatsoever.
Yeah, I mean, but people are so afraid when you talk to them, aren't they?
Of course, yeah.
So
People
you
are,
have to work out how to make them less afraid then.
Yeah, it's I mean, certainly young people aren't getting the grips of this really. Then, you know, they're just too interested in their own lives, and so I wanted to do a talk tonight really that kind of, you know, 'cause it's going to go on the internet, and it's really to bring, you know, waking up the young people really with the music industry and, you know, the whole saving money on taxes and debts. I mean, I know initially some people might misuse that information for their own selfish means, but I'm hoping that they will realise the reason why we're doing this.
Thank goodness we've got people like you, pioneers.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
One thing I would like to pick you up on though was the word Nazi. I
didn't say Nazi, did I?
Did you?
No, I didn't say Nazi at all.
Well, you said some.
Fascists.
Fascist.
That's right.
Well, I don't think it is fascism. I think it's communism that's behind it all, definitely.
Well, absolutely, it's communism, socialism, it's all the isms, isn't it, really?
Yeah, but the whole thing...
Fascism is when corporations are working with the government, which is happening. So we are in fascism. They are fascist
I would
leaders.
rather call it communism, actually.
Fair enough, I would agree with that as well.
Yeah. I mean,
Socialists, yeah.
Fascism started in Italy with Mussolini, and it was opposed to Bolshevism, so it was anti-communist.
Okay, yeah, okay.
Fundamentally, that's the fundamental
Okay.
definition.
So communists would be a better word to call them then.
One wears a black shirt, one wears a red shirt, as we always say.
But it came round in a circle, really, didn't it? They're after the same people in different directions.
Well, that's right. I mean, the definitions have always been mixed up just to confuse people even more, haven't they, really?
Well, they both sides wanted a totalitarian state, and they were both
That's right.
social democrats, weren't they? Both, was it right, social democrats? I think they were, and they just meet together, don't they? It's a circle, and they're on each side. They're both extremes, and I think communism is the actual thing that is actually under everything and undermines everything.
Any more questions? If not, I'd like to pass over to Toby, because he's got something very important that he wants to talk about, and it's really something that can save the planet. So it's a very important topic. We didn't promote this part of the talk, simply because we didn't want any undercover police in here. So, have we got any undercover police?
Alright.
Well, in that case, I'll gladly pass you over to Toby. If we can have a round of applause, please.